So as you guys may have noticed, I've been holding some polls on the channel and you guys voted on a top 10 list and you guys wanted that to be a character specific mechanics. So with that said, thank you for voting. I'm going to put a few rules in place. One, I'm going to try my damn best not to double down on any of the same franchise. It would be a little too easy if I use like BlazBlue. Also, my second rule is, just so you guys know, this is not system mechanics within the game. This is going to be character specific mechanics that I haven't really found in any other game, or it's so rare that I still love to see it. And just because I find the character mechanic interesting does not mean I think the actual character itself is the most unique thing in fighting games. So with those caveats out of the way, I'm just going to get right into the video. This is my top 10 most unique character mechanics in fighting games. Coming in at number 10, I have to give that to Bedman from Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2, and specifically his Deja Vu mechanic. So if you don't know, Bedman is able to do all of his special moves, and then it will leave a seal wherever he used that specific move. And if you redo the input, there'll be a time echo, essentially, where the bed will also do the move again while you get to act independently. Honestly, I feel like there's one other character in another fighting game that does this, but I can't remember. But I think just in general, especially with Bedman question mark coming to Strive, it's good to look back on the origins of Bedman and seeing how unique that specific mechanic was. Coming in at number 10, I feel like I'm kind of cheating on this one a little bit, but it's going to be the Lowain brothers from Gran Blue Fantasy Versus, and specifically their mechanic where they can just turn into a boss. They summon a actual boss, and you get to play as this big deity for a few minutes or a few seconds. And that's pretty much the whole unique mechanic in terms of just a summon. Now, I know in Susano'o versus Capcom, you can pick big boys or boss characters and just do that. But honestly, I just really like the idea of a summon in a fighting game, and the Lowain brothers are goated. They deserve it. At number 8, I'm going to have to pick Ginyu from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, this is going to be my only Dragon Ball FighterZ pick, which I could have made a whole list on them myself. But yeah, Ginyu is the only person in a fighting game that I know that can legit just swap bodies, life totals, and take your character from you. And on top of that, once you're swapped bodies with Ginyu, you can't use the Ginyu Force. They won't obey you. So it is a high risk and reward there. And I'm really glad they put it in the game, to be honest. Number 7. Now, I don't feel like a lot of people remember this character, but it's going to be Chameleon from Mortal Kombat. His whole gimmick is every few seconds, he'll continuously swap movesets between all of the other ninja fighters. So Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Smoke Reptile. And you have no control over it. But it's still such a unique mechanic in the sense of you pretty much essentially have to master all of the ninja characters to make this character viable in any sense. It's really fun, and if you haven't heard about Chameleon, please go give it a try. He's awesome in every single way. Yeah, that's all I got on that one. Next. In 6, I really told you guys I was going to try to stick to one character per franchise, so I will not be picking Android 21, even though I really liked her stealing abilities mechanic. And what better way to do a lateral decision than going to Rogue in X-Men vs. Street Fighter, where she specifically could steal moves as well, and probably the reason she didn't make it into Marvel vs. Capcom, just because I can only imagine the difficulties that would be. But yeah, Rogue was able to take the abilities and powers from her enemies for the whole entire match, not just a single use like Android 21. So maybe one day we'll see her again return in a fighting game. I hope so. But still a great character mechanic that was introduced a long time ago. Now, before you freak out, yes, I am picking a platform fighter for this one. But please, just, it's not Smash. It's actually going to be Shovel Knight in Rivals of Aether. Shovel Knight has this really cool mechanic where as you fight, gems drop all over and you have to go gather the money. And you would have to start buying more moves. Whether it's the fists or a heavier armor that affects your attributes in terms of defense, slipperiness. Just all in all, it's cool. It kind of mixes up the formula of the platform fighter, and I love Shovel Knight and every single thing he's in, and I haven't seen this done before. If you have, please let me know. But yeah, buying more upgrades mid-match, that's a pretty cool mechanic. Now, a big reason I wanted to make this list and I put it on the top 10 was I was wondering if there was a character out there that as they start losing life, they unlock more abilities. And then I kind of realized you have a character close to that, except you don't need to lose life. You just need to continuously do different special inputs. And that's to unlock Susano'o's abilities from the BlazBlue Central Fiction. Susano'o's whole thing is all of his special moves, except I believe 1 or 2, are locked behind inputs that you have to get done during the match. So if you just let this man roam free, he's going to have all 10 of his special abilities ready to go. And that's just a cool mechanic, just because it's kind of at your own free will. You're essentially unlocking your whole entire move list. And yeah, that's cool to me. Coming in at number 3, I feel like I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't include Phoniex Wright in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I feel like he's already really well known, so I don't feel like I need to talk about it too much. The man essentially has 3 modes. He has investigation mode, trial mode, and turnabout mode, each one drastically making his game plan different. Investigation mode, obviously you're trying to find evidence. Trial, you're bringing them to trial. And turnabout mode it's pretty similar to trial mode, but all your moves are greatly enhanced. He just becomes an absolute menace, and it's just interesting because there's some RNG when he pulls out his evidence. There could be bad evidence, good evidence, and all around, it's just fun. He's playing his own game, and it makes you really see the love and care they put into characters in Marvel vs. Capcom. Phoniex Wright really was represented well in every sense, especially down to his unique character mechanics. Number 2 is probably the most complicated unique mechanic I've ever seen in a fighting game, and that's Junpei from the Persona Arena series. The man has a whole baseball mechanic with balls, outs, strikes, bases, and runs, all depending on how you're attacking your opponent, what's actually going on in the game. And essentially, the most important thing is getting the runs. Once he gets 10, you'll go into this what's called a Victor Cry install. I do love me some install supers. And he's just going to be stronger, have some HP regen, but all in all, that's just kind of basic install super level stuff. It really does come down to that unique baseball mechanic in the bottom. It's so hard to understand. If you want a more detailed explanation of that, I would go watch, I believe it's Jam Croft's video on that. There's a whole video explaining it in detail, but yeah, it's extremely unique. Now, a quick few honorable mentions. This is where I had a hard time on the list deciding if it was worth it or not, or if you guys would consider this a character-specific mechanic. I want to give some shout outs to Yoda for being absolutely too small in Soul Calibur, where you literally cannot grab him and a lot of high attacks just miss. He's the only character I know that does that. I want to say I need to get some more Dragon Ball Fighter stuff out there. So Baby using dead characters as assists, Gohan being able to level up continuously and then reverse beat as he gets his potential unleashed. And I want to know your personal opinion if you would count this as a character specific mechanic. The TMNT, the Turtles, and Injustice 2. The fact that depending on the weapon you've equipped in the gear system gives you a whole different turtle to play as with all different special moves and interactions. Yeah, I didn't know where that would land, so I'm just going to give that an honorable mention now. I feel like it deserves it. And now let's get on to number 1. Coming in at number 1, I have to give it to probably the most unique fighting game mechanic that I've seen personally. And I don't even love Killer Instinct like most people do, but I have to give it to Arya. Just the fact that she has 3 health bars in a 1v1 fighting game essentially makes her a versus character, but each life bar that you lose unlocks different moves within her moveset. And you have to pretty much learn 3 different characters. I've never seen that in a 1v1, and I don't think we ever will again, to be honest. So, gotta show respect where respect's due for that. I gotta say, alright, yeah, the most unique fighting game mechanic I've seen to date. Now, with that said, I appreciate all you guys watching. If there's some unique character mechanics I've missed, please let me know. I struggled with this one personally, but thanks again for voting on the polls and everything else. I wish you guys have a safe day. Stay safe out there, and thanks for watching. Peace.